Greetings, Imperial citizens. This is a Voxcast from the Bureau of Children's Compliance. And now, today, we would like to present to you Og the Ogryn as an exemplar to children and Ogryn everywhere who wish to be obedient to the will of the Emperor. And now, without further ado, Og.
Hey everybody! Oh, boy, lots happened since the last time the Bureau of Children's Compliance had me do a Voxcast again. So, hopefully I'll be able to tell you all about the good stuff I've been doing to help the Emperor do the stuff that he wants to do. And do all the stuff that it's good stuff. So yeah, so some people might ask, Og, tell me about the thing you just did. I don't remember. Gallus said that because the thing we did was very secret, it was. I promised I wouldn't tell, but he said it's so secret that we can't even have it in our brains. So, whatever happened and all that stuff, I don't remember it. But he did tell me that some stuff happened, but can't talk about any of this stuff that's secret. But I can talk about other stuff. Oh boy, we got everybody here. Joshua says hello. Hi Joshua, how are you? Oh, Caldor Drago, you're here too. Got Carrot and Banana. Uh-oh, you must have said something bad. I got rejected. Ellen, hi Og. Hello Og, how's your day been? It's been good, Chapter Master Downer. Been like really... It's been good to like not have to run around as much. Because most of the battles is over now. They're just trying to get the last little bit of the bad bugs. Congrats on surviving the campaign. What's your favorite food? Oh, my favorite food is guac steak. I got that when the secret mission was over. That was what we got. That's what I got to eat. I got to eat a guac steak. It was really nice. Wolverine, hello? Mr. Simpson. Mr. Simpson, you better behave yourself. I remember what happened the last time. Do you like Gallus or Fletcher more? That's a really hard question. Especially because Fletcher, he didn't make it. But he's with the Emperor's house now. It's different. Fletcher was kind of like me when I became Bonehead. He didn't know how to do the job. He did commissar, but he was never Ogryn commissar. So he had to kind of learn the way I had to learn after Biff died. Let's see. But if you guys got questions about what's going on here, there's a bunch of stuff that I'm allowed to talk about. And Commissar Gallus is too. He's helping me read all this stuff. So, how is the Commissar's Mastiff? Oh, Gallus, this one's for you.
Brutus is doing very fine. He remained in Dawn Citadel. He was being taken care of there while I was... there's no reason to bring him on whatever the mission was that we were to go along with. So.
All right. Elijah Timmons. Well done. You made the Emperor very happy. Also, have you ever met any girl Ogryns? Oh, yeah. Girl Ogryns, I had some back. There was girl Ogryns back on my home planet. So we had like a tribe, and it was kind of like you had a lot of boy Ogrins, and the boy Ogrins would try to show which one was the biggest and the strongest, and then they became dad Ogrins, and then kind of they got to go with the girl Ogrins, and then everyone kind of took care of all the little Ogrins. But I might have time to go see if now that I'm really strong because I was fighting all this time, I might be able to, if depending on what happens, I might go find the Ogryn planet and see if I can maybe be an Ogryn dad. Old man Skeletal says hi, Og. Hi, old man Skeletal. Let's go back to other questions. Does the Emperor's house have a big garden? I think so, because I don't think anyone's supposed to be hungry at the Emperor's house. So you gotta grow stuff, I think. What are your favorite weapons to use against the bad bugs? Whipper gun, the las cannon, or the bullgrim maul? I like smashing them. I like the maul. That was really good, because it would sometimes when I would hit him with my whipper gun or like punch him, they would be too hard. They would have like really thick armor. But if I hit them with the power maul, they would crack. They would go blah. They go squish. So I really like that. But if they were far away and like shooting at me, then it was hard to get up close to be able to smash them because they kept running away. What John Kerr, Commissar says whatever you're talking about is not good. He says you're talking Xeno stuff. That's bad. What does Og think about the tech priest? Does he get scared when they help him with his arm? They're kind of weird looking. But, that's always kind of the way they look. Lots of different people look lots of different ways, and these tech priests, they just kind of look funny. But that's the way they're supposed to look. So, where am I now? I'm in the city of Lupercalia. We haven't left planet yet. They're still doing a lot of the missions where they're hunting down little bits of Tyranids that are hiding places. And Gallus says that there's probably gonna be some Tyranids that we can't get because they got into the ocean. And it's really, really hard to make sure everything in the entire ocean is gone. So there might be like big, scary Tyranid, big bad bug things living in the ocean for a long time. Mr. Simpson, you asked a question and Gallus says he'll answer that.
Mr. Sim. I'm having Og cover his ears for this. Do not defile this Voxcast by using the crude Orcish terminology for automatic weapon fire. Don't soil Og.
Okay, can I uncover my ears now? Oh, good. Did Og ever calculated his IQ level? What does that mean? Oh, it's like a number of how smart I am? I don't know. I don't think so. How do you do that? Gallus says it's with a test. Maybe I'll have a test, but Gallus says that maybe I'm probably like 80. That's what he's saying, but he says he doesn't know. He says you got to take a test to find out. Lupercalia is still standing, which is impressive. Yeah, it's a really big old city and it's really strong. The bad bugs got in, but they didn't destroy it. They ate a lot of people, but I don't know. I don't know why they didn't break it. Be aware of gene stealers, my. Oh yeah, the ones that hide. I think they're going through with what they call scanners, and trying to find them, and then try to get rid of them. Let's see. Og heard you have storytelling during transports. As the Bonehead, you will have to lead the team in singing while in the transport. Og, you are a good leader. Thank you for serving Emperor. Well, I hadn't thought about that. I gotta learn some more songs, because the only one I know is The Emperor is Great. Know the Emperor is great, and I know the prayer for the Emperor. But let's see. Hi, Og. Hi, Eric. Snack that bites back mid-fish. Yeah, they're pretty dangerous. But the big fish in the ocean is making the knights really happy, because they want new stuff to hunt, because the Tyranids killed a lot of this stuff, and they're not going to be able to, until all the forests come back and all of this stuff comes back, they're probably not going to be able to hunt. But they're talking about doing something to the knights so they can go underwater and hunt the big mean fish. You're a very brave boy, Og. The God Emperor is very proud of you. Oh, I hope so. I hope so. I really hope that the Emperor's happy with me. I hope everyone's happy. After they did the mind wipe thing, mind scrub, whatever it's called. They then told me that Inquisitor Torix didn't make it. Remember, he was the one who was telling it. Remember he talked to me when I was getting better from getting my bone implant and my augmetic. Do I like Skittles? I don't know if I've had Skittles. What are Skittles? To talk about that, let me see. Any other questions? How long has this been going? Not that very long. Let me see. Your guy says it's almost been going on for, he says 13 minutes. However long that is. Any word on where I'm going next? No. I don't know. They're still trying to sort stuff out. Gala says being in a war zone is really complicated, because once everyone gets into a big fight, it gets really confusing, and we don't know how many regiments there are. We don't know who's alive and who's not. And then I'm getting confused. But he basically says lots of stuff happens and it's confusing. So it takes a while for us to get new orders and get off planet. But we'll see. Oh yeah, Eric made a really cool picture of me. He put it up on I don't know, what is it? The core network or whatever it's called. Yeah, you can see it. Well, it was really good. I liked it. Let's see. I don't know where I'm going next. Do you miss using a whipper gun? I'm sure I could use a whipper gun if I wanted to. I think they had me do Ogryn stuff for the secret mission, but then, not after. I still it's funny when you get mind scrubbed, you remember stuff you got trained how to do, but you don't remember stuff that happened. So I still remember how to use a power roll and still how to I don't know how to put on what's it called, the carapace armor. What's your favorite color with Space Marine? I only met one kind of Space Marine, and that was the yellow ones, the Elementals. So I guess it's yellow, but there are many others. Gallus says Space Marines is really rare. Ogryn, you going on a fishing trip? Ooh, I don't know. That might get pretty scary. But if I gotta smash bad bugs, then that's what I'm gonna do. But I think, like I said, the knights, the big robot guys, I think they want to have all of the big fish for themselves. Ooh, Commissar question. Gallus, this one's for you. Does Androcles have a monument?
I'll hop on here. So does Androcles have a monument? I think you're confusing the knight himself with his sword. The knight was called Mackay. His sword was called Androcles. But as far as is he going to have a monument? He was the Duke of Astara. It's very possible they might do something. Not to speak ill of our comrades in arms, but hopefully we'll be shipping out soon. And I must say that I wouldn't be surprised, given the pride of most of the knights I encountered. I wouldn't be surprised if they didn't construct something in honor of him. Yes, it was Mackay was the knight, Talios was the pilot, Androcles was the sword. There we are. All right, you can go back to it.
Does the carapace armor itch? Well, the armor doesn't itch, but if I get an itch, I can't scratch it. Congratulations on protecting that special thing, Og. I don't know what it was, but thank you. You miss your old arm and leg? Yeah, kind of, because the metal ones don't feel the same. Yeah, if it does, it just sort of feels like I can tell when I'm touching stuff, but it's not as good as like having skin and stuff. Hey, Og, you were able to talk to Emperor's friend after your last battle? Oh, I don't remember what happened. Gallus says that for the safety of the Imperium, we weren't allowed to remember stuff. Hi, Og. What bad bug was the most fun to squish? I like squishing warriors because they're pretty big. The little ones, it's just like they're always there. You squish, and they're always there. It's not all that satisfying. Warriors aren't that hard to smush, but they're bigger. But when they had the power maul, I could crack through the shell of the Carnifex, which was different, and that was fun. Did you ever listen to Adrian Pius Voxcast? No, Commissar doesn't let me. He says that he has dangerous ideas, and he says stuff that simple minds like to listen to, but he's not always right. And I'm kind of simple, so. Do you ever talk to the masked guardsmen, the Kriegers? I did a little bit, but they don't really talk back. All I just want to say, enjoy your adventures. May you serve the Emperor for a long time to come. Thank you. I hope so. What did you get to eat after the battle? Ooh, guac steak. I was really hungry, and it took a long time to get back up to where we came from. Because, again, I don't really remember a lot, but I remember going back up, and it took a really long time, and I was really, really hungry. And got a rare guac steak and ate the whole thing, and then got to have another. So one time I was allowed to have 2 special rations, and Gallus actually he let me eat in the officers club, which is really nice. It's really nice in there. Oh, the Kriegsman Scary Hog. Oh no, they're kind of funny. They're not real big, but they're very serious, and they don't talk. I don't know. I think it's a little weird. What regiment were you part of? I was Auxilia. Ogryn's get. Um, Hold on. It's a little complicated. I'm gonna have Gallus explain.
Ogryn units act as auxilia, and they augment existing regiments. So Aug is not none of the Ogryns are connected to a given regiment. They sort of move around as needed. But we haven't been. We were sort of connected with Fletcher's Cadians for a while, but we then were attached to the Krieger unit, and then we whatever it was our mission was. I think from what they were able to tell us, we did not act in concert with an Imperial Guard regiment. So that's typically how Ogryns are utilized. If that makes things clear.
Would you convince the commissar to get? How would you convince the commissar to get into the tank? Well, the commissar usually has to convince me to get in, but I gotta be brave now because I'm a leader, so I gotta do it without being scared. Are you allowed to take any teeth from the bad bugs to wear? I didn't really take any, but I do find it, like sometimes I pick them out of my skin after the fight. And I tried to keep those, but then I would lose them. Because once the battle is over and we get out of our armor and we go to the showers, all of our clothes get taken to go get washed, and I think I left the teeth in my pockets, so I don't know what happened to them. I keep losing them. Hey, were the Bulgrins easy to command, or did any of them have trouble understanding you? It was a little bit hard because they didn't know the commands were a little different. But no, they were pretty easy because they Gallus said they're like they're like really big robots. You say the thing and then they do it. So it wasn't too hard to take command of them. We lost a lot of them though. They're probably gonna combine all the Ogryns and then break us up again into different units to augment different regiments and things like that.
Commissar, what would happen if another commissar hit one of your Ogryn? He would have to suffer the consequences of that. It would certainly depend on the context of it, but I doubt any commissar would strike an Ogryn, especially one that he didn't know, that he wasn't in command of, that he wouldn't know how he would react. It's a very unwise thing to do. As much as an Ogryn will be severely punished for striking a superior officer, and it is within the rights of a superior officer to strike an Ogryn, most commissars know not to take their life into their hands that way. It would be very upsetting for me if one of my peers, or perhaps one of the those who are higher up in the commissariat, were to strike one of my Ogryns out of turn, I prefer to discipline my Ogryns the way I wish to, and to have another commissar interfere is inappropriate. I would be very upset, but I also understand that things do happen.
For Og, from Matt Sinkinson. Thank you, Matt Sinkinson. Your donation to the Bureau of Children's Compliance is appreciated. For Og, what do you think of going in lines? I think it is very fun. I love to go that way. Oh, is this another? Are you an Ogryn, Matt? Yeah. Getting all the Bogryns to get into a line and then go this way and then go that way. Yeah, it's really good. They really like when they can do the thing that they're told. But so do I. Yeah, I love getting in lines and then going this way and then that way. Thank you, Matt Sinkinson. Let's see what we got. Mr. Sim, you keep saying stuff that Commissar Gallus said I'm not allowed to see. Hi, Og, have you heard of the Ogryn who governs the planet? Yeah. I heard it a bit. Adrian Pius was talking about it before Commissar Gallus changed the Vox channel. Yeah, I heard a little bit about it. What's his name? Greg? He's now running a planet? That sounds really hard. That sounds harder than being a bonehead. Being a bonehead's really hard. He must be really, really smart if he's the governor of a whole planet.
Question to the Commissar. Do you know any Commissar that are serving with Krieg regiments? Are they different from standard Commissars? Yes. You as a Commissar, you have to be trained in how to deal with various different regiments, and those who are attached to Krieg units is very different than if you're, let's say, assigned to a penal unit. Typically, if you're dealing with a penal unit or conscripts or new recruits who are very raw, you have to be able to motivate them in a very different way from the way you would Ogryns and Kriegsmen. Kriegsmen are very, very motivated to charge over the top, to leave their trenches, to do whatever it takes. They have no regard for their own safety. And more often, a commissar who's assigned to a Krieg unit must be able to hold them back, so to speak. And thank you once again to Matt Sinkinson, who is donating another time. All right, we'll say a question for No Man himself. Well, we'll get out of the way. A message for No Man. Thanks for all of the great stories. You're hands down one of the best 40K writers out there, and earned my Patreon sub. Thank you very much. I'm going to hand it back over to Og and Gallus.
Uh-oh. There's one who calls himself the Hive Tyrant. I'm back after 3 days of recovering from being curb stomped by their broken sanguinal and mighty fraction. I don't know about that, Mr. Hive Tyrant, if that really is who you are. We smushed you you got smushed pretty good. I don't think you'll come back. Bad bug. Go away, bad bug. For Og, do you prefer to be part of a normal Ogryn or Bulgryn squad? Well, I've only been in a Bulgryn squad once. I don't know, because there were a bunch of Bulgryns that I didn't really know. I kind of liked my old squad because I knew the guys better, but, most of them didn't make it, or they were really, really hurt and couldn't go back into the fight. Yeah, who's that, a Hive Tyrant in here? I don't know. It seems like that would be a thing that would be easy to see. They're really, really big. Oh, have you heard of Nork Dead Dog? Yep. We tell stories about him. Everyone wants to grow up and be like Nork Dead Dog. He's the bestest Ogryn there is. He's a bodyguard. I don't even know how to do that. I don't know how to be a bodyguard. But I guess you gotta guard people's bodies. The bad bugs don't even go in lines. Yeah, that's why they're bad. They don't get in lines, they don't listen to the Emperor, they're bad. Hold on, Brutus is all upset. I'm gonna go make sure Brutus is okay.
Yes, we'll be right back. Brutus, stop it. Brutus. There we are. Sorry about that. Brutus was just upset. There was somebody walking by the door, and he had to let me know.
All right, I'm back. Sorry about that. Question for Orc. Do you listen to Baltimore in your spare time? Yeah, Commissar Gallus says Baltimore is really good to listen to. So, yeah, he tells all kinds of different stories. Some of them are really scary, though. Og, what is your favorite weapon? The las cannon, the whipper gun, or something else? I like the power maul, because I like to smash. I like to really, it's good when there's a bad thing and you can break it. Shooting is really good. Like, I like the whipper gun, and I like the las cannon, because you can shoot really big things, but I like bashing really good, so I like the power maul, I think. But it was hard because sometimes bad bugs would fall away. So, Hi, Og. Did any of your friends during your fight against those nasty bugs lost any of their trousers? Them smelly jean stealers. Oh, you're confused. No, jean stealers don't. Oh, how does it work? I'm confused, Gallus.
Jean stealers do not steal your trousers. They in fact, they infiltrate Imperial society and infest the genes of their victims and corrupt them into being servants to the hive mind. So you must be very careful. If you notice anyone having features that don't look entirely human, if an extra arm, or perhaps they do not have hair and have the shell-like carapace, perhaps it might be wise to let the Arbites know that there might be a situation.
Question for Og. What do you think of the orcs? The orcs are stinky, smelly, and stupid. The orcs are bad. We smashed them. Og, do you ever consider having 2 power mauls? I think that's a lot more fun. You can do twice as much smashing. Yeah, but if you got 2 of them, that might be fun, but they don't got my shield. And yeah, you gotta decide. Do you want to bash things real good, or do you want to have a shield and bash things real good?
For Commissar, how rewarding has it been leading Ogryn? I haven't been a parent myself, but I have heard people speak on it, and it's a similar sort of thing, or perhaps being a scholar, a professor at scholar, teaching young minds and molding them, and being patient, and then seeing them sort of grow up and reaping the fruits of your labors. That's the satisfying thing about being a commissar to Ogryn. That and it's very pleasant because their loyalty is unshakable. They have no cowardice, and they're very strong and very useful. It is overcoming their simplicity, their limited nature, and sort of bringing out as much of the potential as you can. So that is what I find rewarding.
Have you ever heard the rumor that Grey March started? Well, less rumor and more of infinite hordes of Knight of Order absolutely dominating chaos. That sounds really bad, but I wouldn't spread rumors, because that can make people scared when they don't gotta be. So from the Bureau of Children's Compliance, don't spread rumors. Only say stuff that you know is true.
Commissar, I must commend you for your leadership of the Ogryn. It is what is expected of a commissar. It is no more than what is expected of me, which is everything. I can always give more to the Emperor. Always improve.
Oh, do you know any of the special words orcs use? Commissar says they use a lot of stupid words, because they're stupid. Like they don't use like, what's something? So you got like chimeras, and you got classes, and you got winos. You got all these different sort of things. And orc would say something stupid like, "That's a box. That's a box with wheels on it," and like they wouldn't know what the real word is, because they're really dumb. What's your favorite sport to play? I like Punch Face. You guys ever play Punch Face? You get another Ogryn, and then you take turns punch each other in the face until one of you falls down. I'm pretty good at Punch Face, but Biff was the best. He was the best at Punch Face, and he usually told us we were playing too much Punch Face. Hey, Og, have you ever met a Kadatan jungle fighter? I heard they like Ogryn and sometimes steal them from other regiments. Oh, I hope I don't get stolen. I've seen Kadatan sometimes. They're pretty big for little ones, and they're different. They don't march in lines the way other ones do. I don't know. It's funny. It's hard to say why they're different, but they're kind of like the opposite of the Queegs. Queegs are all about marching in lines and not talking, and Kadachans sort of, they all sort of split out and they like hide and they do stuff, and and they talk a lot too. Let's see. Does knowing that my tyrant god used to be Hive tyrant? Oh, I don't know how you're doing this, but you're not allowed here. You are a bad bug. Get out. Go away. There's Xenos in the chat. Yeah, they're all. Get out, Hive tyrant. You got go get smashed. Hi, Og. Is there something that you look up to do better? And is there someone that you look up to do better and be like them? Aside from the great god Emperor of mankind, I tried to be like Nork Dead Dog because he's supposed to be really smart. They say he can count all the way to 4. Oh, we got another one. Last question for the whole gang today. Would you rather fight 100 Gwot-sized war bosses or a war boss-sized Gwot, and why? Can I fight all of them? Because it doesn't seem like I would want 100 Gwot-sized war bosses or a war boss the size of a Gwot because it's an orc. Can I fight all of them? Because I think I could beat all of them. Thank you, Matt Sinkinson. I'm way behind. I got way behind on this. Og, what drawing would you like me to do next for you? What if you did Gallus and Brutus? That'd be pretty good. Brutus says he wants to be in the picture. Let's take a look. What else we got? Oh, this one's for you, Gallus.
Question to Commissar Gallus. What is your opinion on Commissar Lord Byrne? I haven't heard much of his exploits. I will unfortunately not be able to give you a satisfying answer to that. But thank you for your inquiry. Commissar, would you ever teach in the Scholar Progenium and help students beyond second year thinking on how to use Ogryn in applied tactical situations? I'd certainly like to. I think some of the notions and limitations of Ogryns are overstated. That all too often people think they're limited so that they don't try to teach them complicated things. And Ogryns are certainly smarter than Canids, and you can teach a Canid to do all manner of things. I think you can do a lot more with Ogryns than people typically try to.
Oh, did you get a medal for your mission or not? Because you don't remember it. I don't know. I think we're still trying to go through stuff. I think they're gonna give people medals and stuff right before we leave, but they gotta go through a lot of stuff, and we gotta get shipped out again. But we'll see. I don't know. Maybe. What do you think of Ratlings? They cook really good food. If I ever find them, I like to spend. I want to see if I can stay around them because they'll cook the best stuff. Question for Org, favorite weapon? I like the Power Maul. I think. Whipper gun's good. I got used to the Emperor's gun and that can do a lot of damage. Would the Imperium allow Ratling to interact with Ogryns? I mean, they're also auxilia. They're the same way that Ogryns are. What are we called again? Gallus says we're called abhumans. So they tend to be auxilia too and get attached to regiments the way Ogryns do. Let's see if we got any more questions. Hey, Og, if you could, would you use a chain sword or chain axe? Usually they don't give those to Ogryns because you gotta be careful with them. Because you can accidentally chop something you're not supposed to. But I don't want to say that I don't want to do that. Because if they wanted me to, then I guess I'd have to learn. Og, how many gold stars do you have? I can't count really high. I haven't gotten any super recently because we've been really busy. But when we were training, I got at least 2 of them. But I also can't count higher than 2. What is Ogryn breeding program like? Are you guys assigned a female? That would make things a lot easier. But if I want to be a dad, I gotta find a girl Ogryn. I mean, maybe they do it differently somewhere, but not for me. Oh, do you like pancake Thursdays? I like pancakes. I like pancakes any day. Mr. Sim, you're misbehaving again. You keep getting redacted. Fergus Abrams, Oi, what do you think about the Emperor? Gaz is trying to figure out if you're an Ogryn or if you are an Orc. But the Emperor is great. I like the Emperor. Og, I found a way to teach you the 4. Repeat after me. 1 and 2 is easy. Food is free, and that food is 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, but how much is 3 and 4? It's still confusing, and 3, I'm confused. Hi, Og, what is your favorite bad things to smash? Well, I smashed bad bugs. I'll find out what else you gotta smash. How often I don't know. Those are a lot of. How often are Ogryns allowed to breed? Is it controlled? Dallas, maybe you can answer this one.
The management of the Ogryn population varies very much from world to world. It can be controlled. It utterly depends on the governor and what the laws are in a system or on an individual planet. Wildly variable.
I've never seen a girl Ogryn. How would you know? How would you woo one? You wanted. Well, you got to. If you can beat up the other boy Ogryns, that's one way. Another way is finding the biggest rock, and if you can lift the biggest rock bigger than anyone else, that means you're the strongest and the best. So that's usually what I saw the boy Ogryns do. I didn't get a chance to do it much because I left for the guard. Is there a hive tyrant here to steal our family jewels? Are there gene stealers in my laundry room? Oh, if there is, you better call the Albites. Probably get out of your laundry room too. Oh, hive tyrant, you're saying bad things. Bad bug, and censored. Be hard for Ogryn. Should be hard for an Ogryn war hero like yourself to find a good girl. I hope it's easy. I don't know. Mr. Sim, why you gotta be saying bad stuff? We got Xenos in the Hive Tyrant, and we got Heretic in Mr. Sim. Or he might be Xenos too. Oh, Fergus, you're an orc. Fergus doesn't sound like an orc name. Og, would you like to try to shoot a bolter one day? Ooh, the really loud ones yeah, I've seen them shoot through some stuff. They make big explosions.
Question for the commissar. How did you get your current position? Yeah, the way everyone does. You go through Scholar Virginia, and you select your path, more or less, or they assign you it as well, depending on your aptitudes. And my electives, I ended up focusing on Ogryns. I had a very great fondness for canids. With my parents perishing, I became very close with animals, particularly canids, and became fond of training them. And I found that my aptitude in such a thing lent itself to training Ogryns as well. Being patient was a big part of that. Thank you, Shaso 1000.
Oh, do you think you could beat a Space Marine arm wrestling contest? I'm gonna tell you a secret. Yeah, probably. Space Marines are strong, but I'm really, really strong compared to the little ones. And even Space Marines, I don't think they're stronger than me. Has Dog ever petted a Cyber Mastiff? Nope. I got to pet Brutus, but Brutus isn't a Cyber Mastiff. You don't really want to pet Cyber Mastiffs because they're mostly robot. They're not like fluffy. They're mostly all metal. Og, what do you think of those shiny Astartes you fought with not too long ago? Did any of them say anything to you after you woke up by chance? I think I know a little bit about what happened. I remember Sergeant Lazarus, but I think he ended up there. I don't know, but there seems to be some kind of thing that isn't good that's going on. I think there's a problem with Sergeant Lazarus and some of his men wearing the fancy armor that they had. Something about they did it without the chapter's permission. I only heard bits of it. I don't know what's going on, but it might be a good thing or it might be a bad thing. I don't know. What does the Imperium? I missed a thing. There's a lot of yelling now. What does the Imperium plan to do about Ethan Ralph and his heretics ruining the internet? I don't know what you're asking about. But probably, I mean, what does the Imperium do, if anything, about heretics? They make them go away. So that's probably what's going to happen.
Sorry, Lord Commissar, I have a question. I'm currently only just a Commissar. I'm not a Lord Commissar. Do you prefer being assigned to Ogryn squads, or would you like to oversee other squads? Ogryns are my specialty, but I will do as the Emperor wills. So I'm willing. I'm trained in how to handle all manner of different kinds of squads, but Ogryns are my specialty, and I think they're where I do my best work.
Fergus, Abrams, and Mr. Simpson saying stuff they're not supposed to. Saying stuff they're not supposed to. Oh, do you like potato peel or potatoes in general? Yeah, they're really tasty. Oh, let's see. Space Marines don't have boneheads, so how can they be stronger than you? Oh, exactly. Yeah, maybe that's why. What's the deal with the slightly taller Space Marines? Oh, they're Primaris, I think. They're tougher than the regular ones and bigger. Is a Cybermastiff a dreadnought but canid? I don't know. You'd have to talk to a tech priest. But I know they're not like a canid. They're not fluffy and nice to pet. They're mostly like really angry. Bye, Mr. Sim. You gotta get not being a heretic or Xenos no more. Hey, Og, wanna try and beat me in a contest? Test if you could be a space marine. Oh, depends on the contest. Ogryn's allowed to consume alcohol. Yeah, if we have shore leave, we can, but they tend to not want us drinking a whole lot and then like being in town. If we're drinking, it tends to be just the Ogryns, and we tend to be kept in the barracks, and then we gotta clean up the barracks the next day.
Commissar is all good to Brutus. Ogryns are not the most careful of creatures, but Brutus is large enough that he'll make his displeasure known to Og if Og is not being careful. But he does well enough. I wouldn't trust him to take care of him or feed him regularly, but I don't trust very many other people to take care of Brutus except for myself, but sometimes I have to.
Question for Og. What happened to you and your friends after you saved the Emperor's special thing? I don't remember. I got to eat. That was the big thing. We got back up. We got treated for wounds and stuff. We also had, I don't remember a lot about the mission, but I do remember we had to carry a lot of people back. What is it? The Space Marines needed the gene seed, and we wanted to get all of the Ogryns that fell too, and get them out of where we was. Oh, Mr. Bongalong, that's not a good thing to say. Gallus says you can't say that. What are the common dog breeds used by the Imperial Guard of Fenrisian wolves ever used? I don't know. There's lots of different kinds of canids. That's all I know. Regular question. A question for the commissar. Okay, Gallus, this is for you.
Do regular troops taunt or harass the abhumans overmuch? They can. It depends. I dissuade them from doing so, but frequently the Ogryns don't understand that they're being mocked, and that's simply better, that they don't react to it. But it can cause problems. Again, don't taunt something that's much larger than you, and especially most people know that Ogryns are prone to anger, so don't provoke something that can lift a tank. Just be careful. Commissar, would you ever consider getting a Cybermastiff? Maybe that one's still mostly fluffy. It would help the Ogryns calm down in transports. It can have pre-recorded stories with the Voxcaster. Yes, but the appeal of Canids to me is that you have to train them and that they're a sort of companion, not that they are just a machine that does exactly what you tell them to. Certain that a Cybermastiff is in many ways more useful. You can mount weapons on it and all manner of different things, but there's a lack of emotional connection, so to speak.
Will there be Ogryn Primaris? Probably not. Brutus is a fluffy canid or a short-haired one. He's pretty fluffy. Gene Seed, what's that? It's the stuff that makes Space Marines Space Marines. That's all I know. Where'd the heretics in chat even coming from? Well, we try to keep heretic signals out, but sometimes they can still get in, and then you got to censor it. Sorry, Og, you still feel getting in transports? I still don't like it. It's still really small. I don't like feeling like I can't get out. Because I'm big, and being in a small place is not good for big things. Do you have, what is the Ogryn equivalent of a spiritual leader or priest? Do you have clan shamans and the like, or is there a section of the ecclesiarchy that has special doctrine for Ogryns? So we had the Ogryn tribe, but we got taught about the emperor by one of the ecclesiarch chaplain. I think he was a deacon, and we would sit in the back, and then all the children from the regular humans would come in and sit, and then we'd learn stories about the emperor, and the Ogryns would be there too.
Commissar, where do you draw the line between abhumans and mutants? Abhumans are a stabilized human variant. They're an evolutionary offshoot. Mutants are unstable. They are frequently it's caused by exposure to radiation or to profane energies and things like that. And not always, but very, very frequently, mutants are associated with unpleasant. They're frequently associated with ruinous powers or other antisocial, destructive elements. But as far as technicality, mutants are not stable. They're random. It's mutation. Commissar, have you ever fought against the Eldar? If so, how many have you killed? Have not as of yet. They're very. When the Eldar are about, it's usually they're interfering with something, and they rarely attack directly, and they tend to do so in small numbers, accomplish some goal, and then leave. And I simply haven't. I haven't personally run across them. Commissar, what do you think about Caiaphas Cain? He is an inspiration. He's a hero. What do I think about Sebastian Yarrick? He's a well-known hero of the Imperium, and I admire him.
For the comments, this is still for you.
For the Commissar, what do you think of space wolves and their wolves? Would you like to have one as a pet or something of that sort? I wouldn't like to interfere with the wolves of Fenris, as they tend to have a very close. They're almost held as sacred by the space wolves, so I don't want to cross the line, so to speak, with them. I'm content with different breeds of canid that suit my disposition. Fenrisian wolves are also quite wild, and I don't know if I am in a position to be taming a wild animal and also being taking care of Ogryns, and I think it'd be unwise.
Question for Og. What do you like best about the Imperium? The Emperor. The Emperor is the best part of the Imperium, and because he made it, so he's the best.
Commissar, have you ever met a squat or a ratling? No, I haven't met a squat. I've only heard stories about them, apparently consumed by tyrannids. I've met rattlings. They have their uses. They're interesting, but they're not the sort of troop. They're not the sort of military unit that I'm accustomed to. But I'm certain that I could learn and get used to such a thing. From Old Man Skeletal, I've got a minute away from filing paperwork. Just wanted to congratulate you on your victories and not getting executed by the Inquisition. Well, apparently the inquisitorial presence was deceased after our mission, but no, we were found wanting, and there was no chaos taint or anything like that. So we were fine. Just were mind scrubbed.
Do Ogryns from different worlds get along better or worse than humans from vastly different civilizations? It depends. The Ogryns are my original squad. They were from my planet. The Bulkwins I work with were different. They kind of talk funny, but they also didn't talk as much. Took a little bit for them to get used to my voice. But I don't think Ogryns are too different planet to planet. But I think a little bit. Can Ogryn actually be guilty of heresy, or is the issue someone told the Ogryn something wrong? I don't know. I've never heard of that. Probably. But yeah, I think most times if Ogryns are being heretics, it's because somebody else told them the wrong thing. But if you start being a heretic, it's usually hard to stop because all the bad stuff makes you be bad forever. So don't ever do heresy. Which hand did you lose? To the elbow. You can see it in the picture. It's my right hand. And yes, I did learn my right and my left. All you do. How much care does it need? Mostly the tech priest. If something stops working, I get the tech priest to look at it. And if I'm about to go into a fight, they look at it. But usually it doesn't have to be messed with for at least a couple months. It's designed for me not to be able to break it. But would that be the end, or would the person get charged of that Ogryn be blamed by default? I don't know. Sounds complicated.
Generally, if heresy spreads in the ranks of any sort, the guardsmen who are heretics, as well as their commanders, are usually in trouble as well.
What is your favorite person except of course the Emperor? Probably Gallus. I mean, he's my commissar, so. How do you two heroes feel about the Tau? The Tau are bad.
Yes, the Tau, despite their promises of a bright, bold future, they're deceptive Xenos, and they are to be destroyed as soon as convenient. I understand that they haven't been destroyed because there are other more pressing concerns. So the kindest thing I can say about the Tau is perhaps they are the least pressing threat to the Imperium, but they are not to be dealt with or parlayed with. Commissar, have you ever had to execute a soldier for cowardice? Why did the soldier run? Yes, I have. I have been a commissar for Ogryn units, and Ogryns don't usually they're not run. If I have had to execute Ogryns, but it's usually because they've lost their temper and then they've killed someone. So that can't be allowed. But as far as executing someone for cowardice, yes, I had one of my first commands was a group of conscripts. They were undertrained, and it was for me to, in the midst of battle, try to whip them into shape. And in doing so, it's just the panic of battle. If you're not properly trained to handle it, you will react the way a human does to a threat. You run away. So that man had to be executed.
Thanks for protecting the galaxy, boys. Gallus is an inspiration, his anti-ableism, and in an otherwise grimdark universe. Thank you, Puppy Soft.
Yes, your donation to the Bureau of Children's Compliance is most appreciated.
Commissar and Og, if you were to travel to Germany, if you would on Terra to drink beer, what's Germany?
I'm trying to recall my ancient Terra. That sounds like it was an ancient kingdom or fiefdom of old Terra. That's a very obscure thing to ask. Have we had a beer made according to the recipe of an ancient Terra kingdom? Can't say that I have. But if you have some, I certainly wouldn't say no to it. Philip Schmidt, you're welcome to stop by the Officers Club, and if you have some. It seems very rare.
The Eldar are really that much different from us. From the propaganda pictures I saw them, they look like humans with weird ears.
Do not. It is natural for humanity to wish to trust things that appear to be similar to us. But do not trust the Eldar. They are very different from us. They're alien creatures with an alien mindset, and they have no regard for the lives of humans. So do not trust them.
This is a good test for any heresy, and I'm glad you all have passed. Congrats, Og. Hope you get more gold stars. I hope I do too. I hope I don't lose him this time. It's really hard to hold on to him when you're fighting.
Komisov, you can speak about it. Have you ever collaborated with an assassin? No. I am familiar with... a Commissar must be able to interact with every manner of anyone from any of the Imperial forces. So I have some training in what to expect from the Officio Assassinorum and the various kinds, and the Vindicare and the Eversor and Calidus and so on and so forth. But I have not had to treat with one myself. I haven't done so. I'm in the business of fighting a war, not in assassinations. That tends to be a different line of command. Rarely do military units coordinate too much with assassins.
When you're traveling through the warp, when traveling through the warp, did anything go wrong? Yeah, the lights went out for a little while. That was kind of scary. But we haven't traveled super recently. That was just trying to get to Molech. What's up with regiments made of cat-looking people? No way that can't be some weird mutation.
I believe Mr. Bongalong is talking about Felinids. They're very rare, but they're similar to other abhuman strains of whether it be Ogryns or Ratlings or Beastmen. Felinids are another kind of abhuman. They're less common and also more restricted, I believe, than the more common Ratling or Ogryn. Commissar, have you ever worked with Karskin troopers? I have not. I've heard of their talents, but I have not worked with them myself. Typically, highly trained units do not require the use of a commissar, unless it is a Lord Commissar who is organizing the defense of a planet, which is not. It's not what I am not part of that. Thank you for your time, Commissar, and the answer you gave. Good luck to you, Og. I'll take my leave now. Farewell, Ania. Ania Cerebelli. Cerebelli? Commissar, would you be kind enough to direct your resources towards destroying those pesky, inedible neurons? Hive Tyrant, I do not know how you continue to broadcast and how you continue to evade us, but you will be found and you will be destroyed without mercy.
If you could wipe out one faction which stands against the Imperium, which one would it be? Well, I fought the bad bugs, and if I don't ever have to fight them, I mean, I like smashing them, but if they were just all gone, then that would be really good, I think. But also there's heretics, and they can make anyone go bad if you think bad things. So it really depends. Chaos is really bad. They're all really bad. All of them. All of them. Get rid of all of them.
Question for Commissar. You ever met a Beastman? Yes. They're not very common. I have seen them. They're I think they carry with them almost the same challenges of an Ogryn as well as like a penal legion, in that they are strong, they are bestial, they are difficult to control. You sort of need to herd them into a savage fight and take advantage of their violence. You have to keep them. They're more controlled by fear. They tend to fear the Emperor and revere him as a war god. I know a lot about theory, and I've seen them briefly. I think it would be, if that was what I was assigned, I would do it as the Emperor wills, but I think I would face some challenges with a Beastman squad. They lack the inherent loyalty of the Ogryns, and the childlike simplicity.
What are your options on what? Oh, I think you mean.
I think they mean opinions, Og.
What's your opinions on Thousand Sons and Magnus? Who are they?
Those are heretics, Og. Vile heretics that will one day add to the Emperor's wrath.
Question for Orb. If a Xenos agreed to accept your refrigerated gene corpses, what are you talking about? Oh, that's the Hive Tyrant again. Stop. Get out. You are not appropriate for children. You're only appropriate for children to smash. Oh, we got... I heard there are rumors to an orc war boss that copies of the Emperor wants to have humans live in peace while orcs keep fighting. What do you both think? I don't know what to think. That's the weirdest thing I've ever heard of.
Never trust any Xenos, regardless of what promises they make or what mad things they wish to introduce. Partnering with Xenos has always led to evil for humanity. You do not trust them at all. You do not work with them. Perhaps the most that can ever be done with Xenos is if there is a greater threat, that you and the Xenos force may stop fighting for a moment to deal with, say, a great chaos incursion. Occasionally, that is about as far as you would trust them, as They don't want to be annihilated, and you don't want to be annihilated, so that's about as much cooperation as ever happens.
Crump the Hive Tyrant? Well, I guess I'd rather have orcs fight the Hive Tyrant than you guys trying to kill people. I'll ask this more respectfully. I'm having a gene stealer phrase this for me. If a Xeno accepted the Emperor's light, would you accept them?
Given the nature of gene stealers and tyrannic attempts at infiltration, it would be very difficult for me to believe that any of your kind would accept such a thing sincerely. For the Xenos to accept the Emperor's light, they would have to accept the supremacy of mankind and the fate that accepting that the fate of the galaxy is to exist under the control of the Emperor of mankind. Now, if a Xenos were to accept that, they might be able to exist as a sanctioned Xenos, but that is not a process that I am very familiar with. But I have heard of such things. But it very much depends.
Have you met a tech priest? Yeah, I met a tech priest. I've met him a couple times. They don't usually like to talk to me, but they do try to fix my arm when it breaks. And they mostly ask, how in the world did I break it this time? And I always say I don't know.
Question for the Commissar. Thoughts on Xenon servitors? I don't know if I've met any Xenon servitors. Are they different from normal servitors? I can answer you better if you define them a bit more. I might have seen them. I'm not familiar with the term.
What's it like being a bonehead? A little different. I don't know if I remember what it was like to not be a bonehead at this time, but I think I'm smarter. I think I can think more. I think I said that last time.
Question for Commissar. How are your legs? They are fine. Thank you. What is your favorite dessert type, Commissar? We sometimes, well, at the Officers Club we do. I suppose I enjoy. It's an old Terran cocktail made with amasec. If you've ever heard of an old fashioned, that is probably my favorite after dinner drink. I don't really have dessert, but I do enjoy an old fashioned from time to time. Commissar, can you endorse the Oculus Imperial as a fellow purveyor of wisdom and law? I promote the safe dissemination of knowledge. Anyone seeking knowledge must do so with the utmost care, for fear of delving into profane knowledge and things like that. That is all wisdom must be pursued carefully.
Have you all ever worked with Tauran desert raiders? Not yet. Gallus, did you?
I did not see them myself, but they were because we were working in the center. Ogryns generally aren't on the flanks, which is where you tend to deploy Tauran desert raiders. But they existed. I knew they were there, and they were used in flanking and scouting. But I didn't deal with them too much myself.
Have you ever killed another Ogryn? No. No, I don't think so. Nope, not on accident, not on purpose. Crazy story. I'm on my way back. I saw a lady trying to help a hedgehog stuck on a wire fence. I went home for wire cutters, and by the time I came back to... Oh, that's a good story. The hedgehog man apparently managed to get free on his own. That's good.
Question for Commissar. From a Xenos, of all things. You're an orc, but you've accepted the Emperor's light. What do you do now? Well, that would depend on whether or not you're a sanctioned orc. If you're a sanctioned orc, then by the will of the powers that be, then you are permitted to act within your capacity as a sanctioned orc. But as I said, I am not an expert on such things or how that process happens.
Og, I just received word that there are human gene stealers that wear helmets that cancel out our loving hive mind influence. What do you think of that? I think all you Xenos are stupid. So, I don't know. Maybe it's because you're bad, and even your own bad bugs know that you're bad, so they don't like you. Commissar and Og, what is your opinion on the Death Corps of Krieg? They're good soldiers. They don't talk much.
Yes, good soldiers, you have to use them correctly. They're not a tool to be used for every situation. When you have a hellscape of a theater, they're perfect to use. They will not break. They will be brave. I have not worked with Death Corps myself. When we did in Olga, I actually think you have had more experience working with the Death Corps than I did.
Yeah, during the big fight, when we were trying to get to Dawn Citadel, I fought alongside them, and they were good soldiers, but they didn't talk much. Which do you prefer, chain weapons or power weapons? Chain weapons could be dangerous. I like the power more. That was really good. I haven't used a chain weapon though.
If I can get my hands on it, I'd like a power weapon. It'd be nice to not have to worry about armor. You've got big, heavy armored units. I'd be able to cut right through it. Do you think there is a loyalty chapter of the Thousand Sons? I've never heard of such a thing.
Oh, be careful. The Imperium of Man may throw your race away like the squats. Don't get too smart or he will try to fix you again. What's he talking about?
I think this one is speaking heresy, warning you not to trust in the Emperor's light to guide you.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So not gonna listen to you, Diarmund. Witness your doom. No thanks.
Commissar, I am commissioned to make a propaganda poster of you. I hear your question. What breed is your canine? You might know, if you've ever seen a Neapolitan Mastiff, it sort of looks like that, but with longer hair. Not unlike a Tibetan Mastiff either.
When I'm not lazy, I can make an empathetic sandwich because I love the Emperor so much, so you deserve it. How do I send it to a planet? I don't know, Gallus. Do you know what he's talking about?
I don't, not knowledgeable of such things. It's a very odd question.
Have you worked with Vostorian Firstborn before? No, I've only been on one campaign.
I have. They're a bit different, but good soldiers. One of my first Ogryn commands, we were attached to one of their units. It wasn't for very long. It was a planet where the rebellion there was infighting in the rebellion that we were fighting against, and it was resolved fairly quickly, and resistance was destroyed piecemeal. But I was able to work with them a bit. Commissar, serious question. How many times will arch-heretic Samhide be allowed to murder entire legions of progenium at the academies? He can't keep getting away with this. I apologize, but I am not familiar with that name. And unfortunately, there are so many heretics in this galaxy that I
I've not heard of that one in particular. But if he is doing as you say, hopefully he'll be brought to the Emperor's justice swiftly.
Tyranids edible, like food ration-wise, same for orcs. Never eaten orcs. Tyranids you can't really eat because they're all made of gross stuff that's bad. A lot of acid in them. Let's see. What do you think about normal guardsmen? They're little, and they can shoot a lot better than I can. And they're small though, but I feel like I gotta protect them. They're kind of little. Oh, here's one for you, Gallus.
Where are you from, Commissar? I'm from a planet by the name of. I'm trying to remember what the actual. We didn't call it this, but if you were to look it up, it's actually a planet by the name of Archeon. Acheron, that's what the new name is called. Pretty difficult hive planet, mining area. I didn't live there long. My parents were nobles who were killed. I don't want to go into the whole thing. It's a long story, but I was quickly sent off to Scholar from there. Wait a minute, I have the greatest idea. Why don't we start eating the Xenos race to help with any food shortages? Most Xenos are not edible. I don't think I'll be able to catch the Eldar in enough numbers for it to help with food shortages. There are a lot more Groks than there are Eldar. Commissar, have you served with or near Ultramarines? Actually, I think once the Ultramarines were involved in an action that we were part of, and they ended up dropping into one of the critical defense points, and they ended up infiltrating an important fortification that the enemies were holding. They were able to break it, and that allowed the guard to then move forward. So I did not work closely with them, but they were part of that campaign. Commissar, how buff are you? I am fit for the duties that I am to undertake.
Have you ever worked with Catachans or Praetorian Guard? I've seen Catachans a bit. Not the Praetorian Guard.
Similar here. I've worked with Catachans before, but I have not. It's just not a unit that I have run across. Serious question for No Man. Is it okay if we ask about things that are happening in other stories? I kind of wanted to keep it with Og. I can do other question and answer sessions later. I'm going to keep this character with Gallus and Og. There we are. Og, this one's for you.
What is Og's favorite Imperial sanctioned comic book? Ooh, I like the Adventures of Guardsman Good Guy. It's Guardsman Good Guy and Heretic Harry, and the way the comics go is you see the stuff that Guardsman Good Guy does, and he does good stuff. And then there's Heretic Harry, and he does bad stuff. So you're not supposed to do the things that Heretic Harry does. Have you ever heard of Attack Run? It's an old Voxcast shows about pilots during the Gothic War. I can't say I didn't.
No, I'm not certain of such a thing. Og and Gallus, how old are the two of you? I am 42.
I don't know how old I am. Gallus, do you know?
By my eyes, Og is fairly young. He might be in his early 20s. But it is a little difficult to tell with Ogryn. They grow and develop a little bit differently than humans. Commissar, have you ever accidentally executed someone who offered you a dessert like some commissars? I think I know what you're talking about. It was a something a bit humorous that depicted someone offering a commissar a sweet, a confectionery, and he heard the word dessert and thought someone was deserting. Well, unfortunately, some commissars are a bit overzealous in who they execute and why. Sometimes you need that sort of discipline, especially when dealing with penal legions, because they don't want to listen to you. They merely want to look for an excuse to desert or to kill you, so you have to prove that you're tougher than them. It's the only thing they understand. Gallus, have you ever heard the ancient legend of mice and men? Your exploits sometimes remind me of the story. I'm unfamiliar. It sounds like it might be a very ancient legend, but if it's an ancient legend, it's clear that usually ancient legends reflect something in humanity that stays around. It's not a new thing.
I have an idea. Enslave the Xenos and force them to work in factorums.
And it's, again, that's sort of trusting that they're not going to just cause problems and rebel and have insurrections, and I'd rather just not deal with the Xenos, but that's not for me to decide.
Yeah, me too. I really like Xenos evil. Just want to say I love your content and hope you manage to continue with it. Truly a pleasure to listen to. Thank you. Ogryn Commissar, is there any Space Marines or regiments that you would like to fight with the most? I only know the ones I have fought with already. Are there other ones?
Yes. Og, I think you got along with the Lamentus. I'd imagine that you would like to fight alongside the Salamanders. They're very caring about the civilian population. For myself, there's a lot of Space Marines that like to work on their own. I wouldn't mind working more closely with Ultramarines. I appreciate their organization. They are incredibly good at incorporating well with ongoing offensives. Like, yes, I think working with the Ultramarines would be very good. Would be pleasant. I wouldn't have to butt heads with anyone or deal with chapters who don't want to coordinate with the Imperial Guard. The Emperor's had many sons, and they all have different purposes, but as far as my end of things, I prefer to deal with those that are going to work with us and not come up with their own battle plans that they enact separately. Have you all heard of the Reasonable Marines? I've heard the joke that the Marines, well, that they're just not reasonableness in I think it's more of a criticism of the administratum, or some of the failings have occasionally happened of the military have happened because of a regiment's pride or some other thing like that. So someone has come up with the idea of the reasonable Marines who do things the right way and aren't glory hounds, I suppose.
Keep up the awesome work. Love Ogryn series and all the work you do. Thank you. Cross-indexing planetary systems, setting coordinates for warp translation. Thank you. Uh-oh. Isn't that one of the bad ones?
Don't worry, Og. If he comes, we'll be ready for him. The Emperor will withstand anything that Chaos can throw at them. Question for Commissar. How many Ebretics have you crumped? More than you've had hot meals, Orc.
Does Harry Heretic take sugar sweets from babies? Yeah, he does bad stuff like that all the time. Have either of you fought with Sisters of Battle? I haven't.
I've had some experience with them. They're very intense. I've dealt with Kriegers, and they have a kind of faith, but Kriegers almost burn like a slow, smoldering fire, and the faith of the Sisters is much more like a wildfire. It's a fanaticism that's very contagious. So their presence is, it's almost unnerving the way they can rouse fervor in you. It almost seems unnatural what they do, but they think about things differently than I do. But they are servants of the Emperor, and if they have his blessing, I will not question their methods. Commissar, do you still need to exercise with your robo legs? Not really. I mostly need to keep them in good repair. I do have to still exercise because my leg was removed at the knees, so I still do have thighs, and I do need to keep those in good working order. Have you ever seen a plasma weapon overcharge and explode? It's quite a thing to see. It's a very unfortunate thing.
I haven't, but we don't have plasma weapons. But I've heard of it.
Yes, it's a very unfortunate thing it's an incredible amount of energy. The man's just vaporized on the spot. It's unfortunately. Have you worked with penal legions or the last chances? I didn't work with a penal legion. I worked with conscripts. But I'm familiar with how to deal with them. It is usually penal legions or and such are either commands for commissars who aren't doing what they're supposed to, who are being reprimanded, and this is sort of their last chance, or sometimes young commissars or junior commissars might want to try to jump to get a command as soon as possible to prove themselves. And that was what Fletcher did. He had a bit more experience with them than I did.
Oh, can you hug and find a suit? What's that?
I think he wants you to find, I think, a Zote. If I understand that, that is a Xenos bioform of the Tyranid. No, he's not going to do any such thing. Of course, we don't enslave the Xenos races, we turn them into servitors. That's an idea, but I don't know if the augmetics, the cybernetic enhancements, if the Mechanicus has developed ones for Xenos races, but who knows? It certainly is a possibility.
Would you punish someone for heresy that they spoke in their dream?
Speaking heresy in a dream is not a good sign, as because the warp can have an effect on dreams, and if they're speaking heresy in a dream, that can be a very bad sign. So it's not for me to decide that, but if I feel my men are at risk, then I will not. We can't risk demonic influences. For the Commissar, what was your first battle? It was a battle over a relatively small hive. It was a mining facility, and there was a rebellion. Over. They didn't want basically the planet lost compliance. They didn't want to hand over their tithes, and there was a lot of materials that really needed to get to the Forge worlds. So we had to bring it back into compliance, and I ended up having my first command with a number of conscripts. A lot of men died, unfortunately, because these were not highly trained guardsmen. But I survived, and we won the battle at the cost of a lot of lives. But I found I performed adequately, and since then I've been moving more into the kind of work that I prefer. A question for both of you: what do you think of the Necrons? I don't think our opinion is going to be very different on this. They're dangerous Xenos that need to be destroyed.
Yeah, what Gallus said. Dangerous Xenos, gotta destroy them.
Commissar, do you know and or served with the Raptor herd that with the Raptor I heard that they are the bases for the reasonable Marines? I'm not familiar with that chapter. If there's a chapter called the Raptor herd, with the Raptor, I haven't dealt with them. Let's see. Well, I think we're getting close to the end. If anyone has any more questions, we can answer that. But I think we have answered questions about what's been going on with the current situation here on Molech. There are still military operations going on to mop up small pockets of Xenos resistance. It's likely that we're not going to be able to get the Tyranids out of the ocean. They're probably going to become part of the ecosystem and incorporate themselves, which could be difficult if they try to return, because they'll already have bioforms here that can threaten. But we'll see how things go. We also need to get rid of any gene stealers that are still lurking about. But in all likelihood, we're going to be shipping out in not too much longer. Commissar, from man to man, do you find the Sisters of Battle good-looking or even hot? When you're on the battlefield, you try to push those thoughts out of your head. I've certainly heard men speak fondly of the Adeptus Sororitas, as they are soldiers, and that is what soldiers do. And I am certainly a man and am not blind. But I think many men will see the propaganda posters or see depictions of Saint Celestine and assume that all sororitas have the face of angels, and it really depends, because just as the face of any soldier, I mean, there are some guardsmen that are better looking than others, and such is the case with the sororitas. They're hardened they're often very hardened by battle and heavily scarred. And they're not all young. There are many sororitas that are veterans that are not young, comely women. So It very much depends. But both, who's your favorite Primarch?
Primarch?
Og, you know the Primarchs are the gene fathers of the Space Marines.
I know there like a whole lot of them.
Yes.
Well, which one was the Primarch for the Lamenters?
The Lamenters are a successor chapter of the Blood Angels, and their Primarch would be Sanguinius.
Okay, then I like him.
I'll give. There, well, fair enough. As far as me, well, I'm certainly glad to have Gilliman back. It might be him, but I can't say that I know much more about the Primarchs beyond their legends. And their legends, as far as those that have remained loyal, they're all admirable and remarkable men who have achieved more than most mortal men can. Commissar Gallus, you beautiful man. Well, I'd like to think so. What is it like to command Bullgrins? Well, they were very well trained to begin with, and it was very simple. I sort of had to step in, and all I had to do was give them the same orders that they were accustomed to. So it wasn't, and I didn't have to do it for very long. So can't speak authoritatively on it. For either, is it known if an Ogryn has ever retired or released from service for medical reasons? I'm almost certain of it. I don't think Og is very familiar with this. I think I can answer this. There are uses for Ogryns that have been either too severely injured or are not intelligent enough that are frequently used in on prison barges or on penal worlds as guards. If they're unsuitable for work in the Astra Militarum, but there's also the case that happens with Ogryns, is just like any guardsman. When a planet is liberated, often if the population's been completely depleted, the guardsmen will then, from the officers and others, will take land and sort of help repopulate the planet, which is the same for Ogryns as well.
Question for Og, what's your favorite food? Guac steak is really good.
For the Commissar, is it true Gilliman has an Eldar girlfriend? No, that is heresy of the highest order. There's no such thing. That is a vicious rumor, started by Xeno sympathizers.
Og, have you seen a Titan? Nope, but I saw a Knight.
Very well. I think Og seems to be getting a bit tired, so we're not going to answer any more questions. We'll take this last one. Commissar, what retirement Ogryns look forward to if they're to survive a long career with the Astra Militarum and reach really old age, where they might start to slow down in combat? Yes. You don't. If either, as with most people in the Guard, usually you go until you're not alive anymore. But if you are able to survive, then you absolutely can retire especially if you're physically unable to continue service in the Guard.
Og, are you Ogryns ever trusted to use grenades? Remember, never throw the pin, throw the other part. Oh yeah, no, most Ogryns know how to use quack grenades. Not quack grenades, frag grenades.
Yes, frag grenades are standard Ogryn equipment. All right, we're going to wrap things up. Thank you once again to the Bureau of Children's Compliance for hosting us. Hopefully, all of you good citizens of the Imperium have be good to hear the good news from out of Molech that will slowly be restoring this planet to its former glory, and that the Guard and Space Marine units here and the Knights will all be reorganized and redeployed likely to the next campaign. So thank you all very much. The Emperor protects.
The Emperor protects. Make sure you all smash bad bugs. Bye.